Right guys, and welcome back to the channel, and today we're finally going to start tearing into this M111 EVO engine and find out what is hiding inside, whether it be good or bad. So, without further ado, let's get into it. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe and share and help us grow. I noticed that most of you viewing aren't subscribed. Hit that bell notification so you won't miss when we post any more interesting content about the M111 turbo build. So, let's get into it. Right guys, so I'm going to start by getting the spark plugs out of this thing, because I hope there's spark plugs in it, because it does lock up. So I'm assuming that's fighting the compression, but we will see. I have no idea on the condition of this engine. I'm not sure Casey does either. I know he's had it for quite a while. So either way, it's a free engine, so regardless, even if it's unusable, it's at least an example to show what is hiding within. So obviously we want to tear into this to see what the differences are between the EVO M111 and the pre-EVO M111. So I'm comparing a 975 against a 983. So they're both 2.3 litre engines. This one came factory with a M45 Eaton supercharger, whereas the M111 975 came with a M62 supercharger, and then once Mercedes switched over to the M271, they switched that out for an M65 Eaton supercharger, which actually I kind of like to see what an M65 supercharger could do on a M111. Whether it be any good or not, I don't know, but I'm literally bulling a china shop with this, where there's going to be no finessing. It's just get it apart and let's see what's hiding within. Right, so if we can focus a little bit, we can obviously see that there is some discoloration and surface rusting on the cam lobes, but overall they're in pretty decent condition. This is an unknown mileage engine, so obviously it could be very high mileage. We don't know the condition at all of it internally. We've just got to find that out as we go along, but overall, so far, not too bad. I expected a bit of surface rust because this engine has been sat for quite a long time. So I'd just like to say a huge thank you again to Casey at Boostworks. If you can, show your appreciation by heading over to his channel, subscribing, checking out his content like his 190 twin charge build, and also his new cheap car challenge, which may or may not already be going wildly off the rails. So, let's see what's hiding behind door number 1. Please don't cover me in oil. Oh, yep, that weighs a ton. Oh. Shock. Right guys, so this is what we've got hiding within the cylinders. Just a bit of oil, but the cylinders themselves don't actually look too bad at all. So that's a great sign, that comforts me a lot. So this bottom end, once I've built the 975, this bottom end may actually be useful for another project, which is awesome. So as you can see, I've got the front cover off and I'm about ready to pull the sump off. I've cracked off all these retaining bolts and just got to whiz them out and knock the sump off. So far this job's not been too bad at all, and the engine's about what I'd expect for something that's been stood for quite a few years. So let's get back into it and we'll get this sump off and see what is hiding within. Right, now that's all apart and this engine has clearly not seen a good service history. We're going to strip off the oil pump and the windage tray, then we can get access to all the rod bolts and the bearing carriers, and we can strip out the rest of this engine. So far, again, not too bad. So this is what we expect to see when we remove the windage tray and the oil pump. Obviously you can see your rod caps there, there, there and there, and the others are the main bearing caps from 1 all the way through to 5, and then we have the rear main seal at the back there. Once we remove all of these, we'll be able to slide the crankshaft out and actually see what we're looking at. So let's get to it. So what I'm seeing on the crankshaft now is backing up what I thought about the service life of this engine. It has not seen many oil changes between the massive mileage that it's probably covered, with the middle 2 cylinders being more worn than the outer 2. That said, the crankshaft is still perfectly usable, but if I was to reuse this anyway, I likely wouldn't use that crankshaft. I'd do a stroker build again if I was to do that. So let's get this crank out of here, make sure we've got no spun bearings, and just see what it looks like. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I've already cracked off these main cap bolts, so I'm just going to pull out the main caps and then get the crank out of here, and then we can have a look at all of the journals and see just how bad this crank is and whether there's any damage to anything else. Gnarly. Right, now when we take the main caps out, it's very important that we keep them in the right orientation, so as soon as this cranks out, they'll be going back in exactly as they should be. So we'll start with the rear end of the engine. Like I said, these were already loose, so it's not me just staging stuff. I had loosened them off already, but I haven't looked at them. It just makes the filming process a little smoother when you're not having to fight to break stuff off. Right, now in theory, the crankshaft should just lift out. I haven't actually had this out, so it will be stuck in there. Jesus. Well, you never forget how heavy those things are. So main bearing wise, these are looking pretty good, but the crankshaft isn't looking so good. Let me bring you in. So hopefully you can see this. So we've got a main rod, main rod, main rod, main rod. So all the thicker journals are rod bearings and all the thinner journals are main bearings. And what we can see on the main bearing journals is the fact that there's quite a lot of heavy wear on there, with some light scoring. I don't know whether it will be picked up on the camera. Basically this does back up the fact that this has done a lot of miles between oil changes and has just seen low maintenance in general. So you end up with a lot of carbon build up and the oil just thinning out over time and not lubricating as it should. And this is why we see wear like this, especially under heavier loads. Right guys, so we're going to call it quits there. We've achieved a fair bit in this video. We've got the engine completely torn down and seen all the wear and tear on the internals. I need to get them main caps back in the engine before I forget which way they go and get tidied up. So I'm not sure what the next video is going to be, which part of this it will be, but I'm trying to keep to regular uploads. You will see shorts in between, and that's to basically promote the channel and help draw more people in. So don't worry if you're seeing something that you may have seen before. It's not repeated content, it's just to help bring more viewers to the channel. The shorts is my way of promoting the channel because I only use YouTube to promote itself. So that said, I'm taking it seriously. I really appreciate you guys watching. That's why I've invested in this, to make it far better quality. The Insta360 Ace Pro 2 seems to be a great little action camera specifically for what we do. So I can't wait to try it out on the car and see what kind of content it can produce from that. So that said, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, help us grow, help us bring more people in, and help us spread the word about this wonderful little engine that causes me hell all the time. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.